Hey Housekiss, welcome to today's Big Brother 21 updates and spoilers. Our Housekiss of the day is Gail Murphy. Gail, thank you so much for the support. We really appreciate it. We could not do this without you, and we want to thank you again. So thanks. And if you guys want to be Housekiss of the day like Gail, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. And before we get started, I just wanted to answer a quick question. Fantastic Family Adventures asked about my tattoos. What are they? And this is a frequently asked question, so I just wanted to let you guys know. So on this side, I have Gene Kelly in Singing in the Rain, and on this side, I have Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone in La La Land. I love movies, I love musicals, I love movie musicals, and these are two of my favorites. So that's what my tattoos are. Now let's get started on some Big Brother. And thank you for your question. Thank you all of you guys for your questions. I do read all the comments. It's just like impossible to answer all of them. Okay, so when we left off yesterday, they had just finished the power veto ceremony. Nick saved himself, Holly nominated Kat, which means we've got Kat versus Sam up on the block. And as somebody pointed out in the comments, yes, it's like the Nickelodeon show, Sam and Kat. It's not looking good for Sam, though. So, Sam is spending a lot of time with Sis these days because he and Nick fake broke up. They're not, they're trying not to be seen together because they want everyone to think that they're not working together anymore. As if. And Sam and Sis have been exchanging some information here. So Sam is ready to spill some secrets about Christi, but he's not sure that anyone's gonna believe him because Christi seems to get away with everything. She really does. And Sam lets Sis know Christi's been dropping some names too, okay? She's accusing everyone else of dropping names, but she's been doing it too. And he's like, I'm not sure if it was legit or if she was just kind of like playing me. I don't know. But Sis is begging to hear these names. She swears that she's not gonna tell anyone. She's swearing on her family. She's swearing on her dog. Don't be doing that. You know, actually, I don't care. I don't care when people do that. It's words, whatever. But anyway, some people do put some weight behind that. So Sam is telling her about what happened last week when Cliff was the HOH, and he says Christi was totally on board with Cliff's plan last week to put up Jack and Jackson, and she said that she would vote however Cliff wanted her to. She wouldn't use her power if he put up Jack and Jackson. As long as it wasn't her going up on the block, she's fine with it. So then they were like, okay, well, would you use your power? And again, she's saying, no, I wouldn't do it. And she says, I know exactly how I would get out of it too. She was saying that she knew that Jack and Jackson were obviously going to push for her to use it, but she would get out of it by saying, oh, they were bullying me and I don't like being told what to do, so I'm not going to use it. She definitely said all of this. I remember watching it. I remember hearing it. She said all of these things. So Sam says then Jackson won the veto and she had to change up her plan because she didn't want to lose Jack. So she completely flipped it and made it seem like he and Nick were bullying her to not use the power. So she took the plan that she told him about and completely just flipped it and made him look bad. So Sis is like, whoa, well, Christi told all of us that you had a huge hand in getting Jack and Jackson nominated last week. And Sam's like, no, I did not. That was Cliff's idea. And he says Christi was fine with it. She was fine with them going up, as long as she stayed off the block herself. So Sam says Christi is now denying all of this. Christi and Sam were like loudly discussing this the night before. I told you guys about that in yesterday's spoiler. This was one of the topics they were talking about. And Sam just feels like it doesn't profit him to tell everyone about this situation because no one is gonna believe him over Christi. And he says this is why Christi wants him out now, because he's got too much information on her. So Sis is like, yeah, I didn't know any of this. She promises not to tell anyone. Okay, that's fun. So anyway, I don't really want Kat to go because I think Kat is one of the few bright spots in this cast, but at the same time, her gameplay can be really annoying, and I would love to see Sam stay and blow stuff up because I feel like he actually would. He would make a big move against the 6, unlike Nick, who is planning on just doing whatever the 6 wants. So anyway, moving on. Christi and Tommy, they cannot go outside because of their poison ivy punishment. It's against the rules. So they were chatting in the boat lounge, and oh, it's worth mentioning that during this conversation, Christi is, oh my god, I have such a hard time listening to these strategy chats with loud eaters. It is like nails on a chalkboard. It's bad. So just close your damn mouth while you're eating and then talk. Anyway, Christi is suspecting maybe Nick and Sam knew each other before coming on the show because it seems like they have such a tight bond, blah, blah, blah. Nope, not everyone had your unfair advantage. So Christi was talking about how she called Sam out last night, and she says she just has this thing where like she has to bring justice to people, and she did it to let everyone know what a liar he is. What? Sam may have been lying about some things, like when he was saying that he wasn't campaigning for Bella to stay, but like Christi was also lying about a lot of things. So Tommy lets her know, you should probably rein it in a little bit because there have been people in our alliance that have said that like sometimes it's too much. Like your mouth, it's a little too much sometimes. He's saying you don't have to expose everything. And Christi says, yeah, I know, but I just wanted him to be painted for the liar that he is. Stop! Oh my god! So Christi then says that she thinks Sis is kind of pissed at her right now because Sis was pushing really hard for Sam to stay this week and Christi shut it down. Christi says, we don't need to keep another strong guy who has Sis's back. And Tommy says, yeah, I agree. There are already too many. We don't need any more. Right? Okay, so Christi is then calling Sam a coward. She says he's always saying that he wants to take out Jess. Not anymore. And she says that doesn't do anything for her game. She wants Jess to stick around for as long as possible because she knows that she can beat her in the end. So Christi says there's no shot in hell that Kat is going this week. I wish we could prove her wrong. But it's not looking good. So Christi asks, who is gonna take a shot at Jack and Jackson? Well, Cliff did last week and you guys left him hanging. I guess it was too soon for that. So they both agree they do not feel good about going to the end with Jack now. I mean, in the past they're like, yeah, it's gonna be the 3 of us, it's gonna be so great, LOL, lots of love. But now even Tommy's like, yeah, it's not a good idea. I don't think it's gonna work out for us. Jack is doing too good of a job getting in with everyone, getting in good with everyone. He's really been working on his interpersonal relationships this past week, and people have been noticing it. So, of course, then in walks Jack. Awkward. But anyway, moving on. Sis was up in the HOH room with Holly. Hey, guess what? She's spilling all the info that Sam told her not to share with anyone. And guess what? Sis was also eating loudly during this conversation. Close your mouth! Okay, so Holly promises that she's not gonna tell anyone. Yeah, okay. And Sis says, according to Sam, Christi was cool with Jack and Jackson going up last week, blah, blah, blah. So she's trying to tell Holly all of the things that Sam told her not that long ago. And she's having a really hard time remembering exactly what he said. Holly and Sis both have awful memories, and like they will admit that themselves, but it is difficult to listen to them try and figure out what people said. Just all of the misinformation as they try and figure this out. Just like basic details that they cannot remember from these conversations. It's painful. It's painful to watch and listen to this. But Holly, she's feeling bad because she's like, whoa, I wish I had known all this stuff before. She basically just wrote Sam's death sentence by putting Kat up next to him. So she feels pretty bad about that. But Sis and Holly agree that they effing love Christi, but she's starting to make them nervous. Obviously, she gets really paranoid about things, and she's playing super hard. And Sis says that Christi really gets in her head sometimes. Not a hard task. I'm sorry, it's true. So anyway, Holly says she doesn't like how Christi makes decisions for the team without talking to all of them about it first. For example, the Cliff deal. Christi went and made that deal with him without talking to everybody else, and now Cliff has 2 weeks of safety that like all of the 6 shooters are supposed to follow through with. But it's funny because that's not even what Cliff was asking for. When he talked to Christi about making this deal, he was like, oh yeah, if I could get 2 weeks of safety from you and Tommy, that'd be great. But Christi went and made the deal that none of the 6 shooters could go after Cliff for 2 weeks. So it's funny how things work out, isn't it? But Sis admits that this week Christi made her really paranoid that Holly and Jackson were like potentially making a deal with Nick and Sam. And Holly wishes that Christi would have talked to her about that. And this is also funny because Sis played a huge role in making Christi paranoid about that, because Sis wanted so badly for Sam to stay and for Nicole to go up and out that she was saying to Christi, oh yeah, Holly can't decide if she wants to put up Nicole or Kat, but she was making it sound like Holly was really considering putting up Nicole, but that was not the case. Holly kept telling Sis, like, I think we should just stick with the plan and get rid of Sam, but Sis was like twisting things around, and it was making Christi even more paranoid. So anyway, in other Sis news, she is pissed that Kat and Jack have been flirting lately. That's another, isn't that Target brand of children's clothing, Kat and Jack? Super cute. Anyway, they've been flirting a lot lately, and Sis is not happy about it. Love Island. Okay, so a little later, the 6 shooters all meet up in the HOH room. In the middle of the afternoon. How are they getting away with this? I can't even be mad at them. I'm more upset at the people outside of the 6 who are not observing this and being like, whoa, I guess we should make a move against this group. Okay, so Jack is like, all right, we put up Kat as a pawn this week. Sam is going. So now we need to figure out, how do we handle the Nick dilemma? What do we do with him? So Jackson says, well, let's just let Nick do whatever, you know, as long as it's not against us. Let Nick pick off the others outside of our group, and then we'll get rid of him. And of course Jackson's gonna say that because he feels like he has a really good relationship with Nick, and he doesn't think that Nick is gonna come after him. And he's probably not, because Nick is being a little loser who just wants to do whatever the 6 tell him to do. So Jack is then asking, all right, well, what happens if Jess or Nicole win HOH? So Christi says she feels like Jess would probably put up 2 guys because she's still like, oh, I want to, you know, root for the women or whatever. But that's like BS, because she also said that she was going to never vote out a girl, and she's done that. But anyway, yeah. She feels like Jess would put up 2 guys. They think maybe it could be Jack and Nick. Honestly, I feel like they could convince Jess to nominate herself, because what is she even doing in this game right now? They're not sure what Nicole would do. They can't seem to get a good read on her. And Christi's like, it's fine. I don't see Nicole winning HOH. Oh my god, please let Nicole win HOH. That'd be so great. Okay, so then Jack brings up Cliff. They feel like they're all pretty much set with him. They have this 2-week deal. They feel like maybe they could extend it a little bit. They're not too worried about him yet. But after the 2 weeks are up, you know, he might go after them again. So we'll see. But then they're talking about what they're going to do if one of their own wins HOH next week. So they all seem to agree that Nick and Nicole should be the ones to go up. However, there is some disagreement about who should actually be evicted. So Christi wants Nick out, and Sis wants Nicole out. Of course. Have you guys noticed whenever it's a question of like a guy and a girl, Sis always wants the guy to stay and the girl to go. Okay. So then they're like, okay, well, what will we do if Nick or Nicole win the power veto? And Christi says, well, we can just use Kat as a power pawn again. And Holly brings up that Kat was concerned that she's just going to become like this perpetual pawn for their group. And Jackson chimes in, well, then why'd she volunteer for it? Says the guy who also volunteered to be a pawn. So you're telling me because you volunteered that one time that you would be cool with going up over and over again? Because I feel like you wouldn't be cool with that. But Tommy's like, it's fine, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So then, this is pretty funny, Christi is like covertly vowing that she will not allow outside influences to make her feel paranoid. She's trying to say that she's not gonna let the diary room get her all paranoid, and as she's saying that, feeds flip. Can't hear that on the feeds. So then eventually they switch back, and Christi reminds them, if anything fucky happens next week, she still has her power. So they're not like dead in the water. Thank God she only has this power for one more week, no matter what. And then we don't have to hear about it again. Isn't that good? That's gonna be like a whole new world. So meanwhile, we've got Sam and Cliff chatting in the backyard. Sam says that he would like to blow up Christi's game in his eviction speech. That sounds lovely. So he's planning on sharing all the info from Cliff's HOH week. It's the stuff that he was telling Sis about before. I'm not gonna like list it all again because it's just too tedious. But you know what I'm talking about. The whole like, Christi was cool with Jack and Jackson going up, yada yada yada. So he says this would be a good time to do it because Christi won't be able to like clap back during his speech because you're not allowed to talk during somebody else's eviction speech. So he's like, okay, obviously it's probably not gonna help me stay, but he's like, at least it'll help out the rest of the like bottom feeders moving forward. You know, maybe it'll create some more tension in that group deep in the cracks. And it's funny because all the stuff Sam is saying about Christi is true. But is anybody gonna buy it? Come on, people, wake up! So then Sam quickly fills Nick in on the plan, and Nick is like, okay, like, do whatever you want, just do not include my name in the speech. Okay. So then a little later, this is freaking unbelievable. It shouldn't be, from what we've seen so far in this season. I guess it's more disappointing than unbelievable. So Nick and Cliff go full on snitch mode. Are you effing kidding me? So Nick wants to tell Christi about Sam and his speech that he's planning. And I don't think Cliff actually wanted to go directly to Christi like this. I think he wanted to at least sit on it for a while and see what happens. But Nick was like, no, I want to tell her immediately, because Nick is trying so desperately to gain the trust of the Six again. So he will do anything. He will drop any info he can to make that happen. So I believe Cliff was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to go with him, because he didn't want anyone knowing that he didn't want to get scooped. He didn't want to get scooped by Nick, and then he's just standing there and everybody knows that he knew about it and he didn't say anything. So he feels like, okay, I have to go with Nick to tell Christi this info. So they go to Christi, and it was so badly handled because Christi was in one of the bedrooms with, it was Kat and somebody else. I forgot who the other girl was, but it was Kat and somebody else. And Nick is like, can I talk to Christi real quick? And they were just like, okay. So then everybody is just like, this is really weird. You know, why are Nick and Cliff pulling Christi aside to talk? And Big Brother freaking did us dirty, because They had 4 cameras on everybody being weirded out by that. And we missed the beginning of the conversation with Christi, Cliff, and Nick. So by the time we get to see this conversation, they're already saying, oh, we didn't want anyone to accuse us of knowing about it beforehand, so we just wanted to go to you directly and let you know what's going on. So they told Christi about Sam's plan, that he was gonna try and trash her basically on a game level in his eviction speech, but I don't know exactly what they told her. I don't know if they told her the specifics of what he was gonna say, but Christi starts explaining herself, saying that's not how it went down last week with Sam, blah blah blah. So I'm guessing they did tell her what he was planning on saying, and Nick keeps telling her, oh, you don't have to explain, you don't have to explain. He's going on and on about how he's trying to rebuild trust with her, and Christi's like, okay, cool. She says that she's not gonna say anything about it to Sam. She's gonna keep that in her pocket. She's gonna tell everybody else about it though. And she's like, I don't understand what Sam is trying to accomplish here by making that speech. Oh my God, come on. So she continues to deny that that's what happened with Sam last week. These freaking house guests could not even let us enjoy the speech from Sam and the surprise factor. No, they had to ruin that for us. So Nick leaves, Cliff is still talking to Christi, and they're discussing how that could have been handled a lot more subtly, but Nick was just like, I gotta tell Christi, I gotta tell her now, I gotta tell her right now. So then Cliff starts sharing another one of Sam's strategies to stay this week. He was saying, oh, Sam wants to try and get Kat paranoid, try and make her spiral so that people will want to get rid of her. Cliff, stop being a dirty rat. Ugh. So then all this information is spreading throughout the 6 shooters. They know that Sam is planning to try and blow up Christi's game with his speech, but it doesn't seem like she tells them the specifics of what he will say in this speech. I mean, she doesn't want all the information spreading around, right? So she's not gonna tell them that. Yeah, so it's just like super disappointing. We can't even have that. So then some quick stuff here. Sis is finally doing something game related, right? She's finally talking to people outside of the 6. She's talking about the game, and all of her allies are pissed at her. Oh my God. So Holly, Kat, and Jackson sort of were talking. Jackson was kind of dozing off while the girls were talking, but they were discussing Sis leaking information, and they don't like how much she's talking to Sam. They feel like she's spilling info to him, which she is, and they also feel like she's just got a really poor attitude all the time, and they're just not feeling her right now. Okay, other stuff. Cliff warns Sam, you should be careful about what you share with Nick, because Nick is desperate to get back in with that 6. He's been running back to the big group, trying to regain their trust. He's telling them stuff you said. Okay, Cliff. He doesn't reveal that Nick told Christi about Sam's speech that he's planning, and he also didn't say that he was part of that conversation. Okay, there was a similar-ish conversation between Kat and Christi. Kat warns Christi, you need to be careful about what you share with Sis, because Sis is spreading your stuff around. And Christi says, okay, yeah, I'm gonna be more careful with Sis, but she doesn't feel like Sis was being malicious here. She thinks she just really wanted Sam to stay, and it's Sis. Okay, I think you should be worried. But anyway, in other news, Kat spills some info to Jess. She says, just so you know, Sis was trying to get Nicole nominated and evicted this week. Holly just wanted to stick to the plan and put me up as a pawn, get rid of Sam, but Sis was really pushing her agenda for Nicole to go. So she says, don't tell. Jess probably won't tell Nicole because she's like that. Okay, so one last quick thing from last night. Jackson had food poisoning. They're assuming it was food poisoning, which is probably a safe assumption because he ate like a shit ton of gross, not fully cooked meat and fish. And ugh. So then today, there were a lot of stories. They were all sharing stories about them shitting their pants. So I don't know if that's something that happened with Jackson last night, but there was a lot of talk today about pooping in pants. All right, there was some game stuff too. Oh my God, this conversation between Nick and Sam. They were checking in with each other, and Sam asks Nick, did you say anything to Christi about my eviction speech? And Nick says, no, why? Yes, you did! So Sam says, well, Sis and I talk, and she told me that you told Christi that I'm mad at her. You know, that he's mad at Christi. Sam must know that Nick spilled the beans to Christi, right? He's gotta know this. So Nick is like, you're not really gonna do that speech, are you? And Sam's like, yeah, I wanna do it. You know, I wanna at least try and help you guys out. And Nick is telling him, that speech isn't gonna do anything. It's just gonna make you look petty. Why won't you let him help you? At the very least, it's gonna make people think, can I trust Christi? Did she say these things? So I mean, there's always that chance that it could help. I can't believe that he is discouraging this. So after some discussion, Sam says, okay, I won't do it then. I would rather go out loved by the other people in the house. So then they start talking about Nick's game moving forward. So Sam's letting Nick know, again, I talked to Sis, she gives me information, and she told me that you were supposed to be the target this week. You were the #1 target, but then you won the veto, and there's a really good chance that you're gonna be the next one to go if you don't win HOH next week. So Nick is sharing his plan that he wants to win HOH, and he doesn't want to put up any of the 6. He wants to try and prove to them that they can trust him. Just freaking stop it. Stop sucking so bad. So Nick is saying, if I take a shot at the 6, I am 100% gone. If I win and don't take a shot at them, maybe they won't take a shot at me for a while. Maybe I can, you know, float my way to the final 7. So Sam is trying to encourage Nick to target the 6 because they're probably going to try and get him out anyway. They're just too close. He's not going to be able to wiggle his way back in there. So then Sis comes back outside, so they change their topic. They can't talk about this anymore. And then a few minutes later, Sis is too hot in the sun. So she goes over to the outdoor shower to cool off. And she's like about to pull on the chain to turn the shower on. And she's like, send it! And the freaking shower head falls on her head. Oh my God. It was classic. You know that they're gonna use it in the intro for an episode when they have like the little clip before the show starts. But anyway, in other news, Christi and Tommy's punishment is over, so they can finally shower again. Woo! And we've got 2 days left until the eviction. It's not looking good for Sam. It's really not looking good for us, the viewers. But anyway, you never know what could happen. We're still, you know, we don't have any information about this field trip thing, so maybe at least next week will be fun. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and until tomorrow, much love.